How are we? Well, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Linda. This is a channel called My Kitchen Garden, Linda's Kitchen Garden, and I do a vlog basically about my small, and it is a small, back garden and my gardening and what I grow in there. So this year, for those of you that are new, I also have an allotment, but for those that are new, because I've got quite a few subscribers, new ones, my garden is very small, and this year I will be growing all my vegetables, everything that I consume in my back garden. So it's new for me. I have been growing vegetables in the past in my back garden. I had a polytunnel, so I'm not a complete novice, but I'm not an expert neither. So you can join me on my journey. We'll make mistakes together as we go along. Some things I know, a lot of things I don't. So this year I have big plans for my back garden, because if you're new to my channel, you won't know that my allotment is contaminated from there is a chemical factory. It's historic contamination. So for those that don't quite understand, the contamination on my plot, on my allotment plot, is from 1950 to 2012 to 2012. So it's not recent contamination, it's historic contamination. So when I say that the Environment Agency say that they'll replace the soil, it's not just putting soil on top of the old soil. They'll be removing the old soil. You know, like when builders go in to build on contaminated land, they have to remove all the contaminated soil first. I think it's a few foot anyway. They have to go down a few foot and then they have to replace it. So all the worms and all the insects that are already there will be took with it. It'll all go. So it should be okay. But I have been talking, we've been discussing it. I've been discussing it with my daughter, and she thinks that, and I sort of agree with her, that I'll be able to grow vegetables that are above ground, so like my beans. But because of the historic problems, or the recent problems, and the historic contamination in the land, I am reluctant to grow root vegetables in there, so I will not be growing root vegetables ever in that site. Whether I decide to keep it or if I get another plot somewhere else, then I don't know. The thing is that in my area, which is Blackpool, I don't come under Blackpool Borough, I come under Wyre Borough, and they have virtually no allotment sites. So I can't get an allotment, a council allotment, anywhere else. I have to get a site that's private, and there's no private ones in my area neither. So I'm stuck, really, unless I travel quite a distance, which I'm not willing to do. So my only other alternative is to keep it and grow flowers on it, just as like a haven, like a little place to go, and a nice little quiet place. Just grow flowers on it, and maybe beans if they change the soil, or to give it up and just grow in my garden again. I haven't got another choice, really, unless they decide to give me a plot somewhere else. That Poulton, I think, is the only other one. So there's two in Thornton. Both of them are being tested for contamination, and there's one in Poulton. which is a bit of a hike, but I'd actually take one in Poulton, to be fair. But I don't think I'd be allowed to have one in Poulton because I don't live in Poulton. I live in Cleveland. So that's that. So for those that don't know, that's my problem that I've got at the moment. I will be doing stuff on my allotment this year, but it will be flowers, pumpkins, because I don't eat pumpkins, I don't eat squash, don't like it. And that's it really. And oh, I know I'll put some broad beans on there. Mainly for the just for the variety of broad beans really. I'm not really that bothered about eating a little bit off there, but I'm not growing anything else on there. So predominantly my vegetables will be grown in my back garden, all of them, apart from broad beans, because I haven't got the space for broad beans. And then next year we'll see where we go from there. So it's all still ongoing, all this research and everything. So there's absolutely no point in making plans for the future for that until I know what they're doing with it. Really, that's it. So welcome again. Today, my plan is right. First of all, my potatoes have arrived. This year, I have got. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. You ready? Put my gloves down. Put your gloves down, Linda. So this year, I have got. These are great, by the way. This company, now I'm not endorsed by this company at all, but just to let you know that this company, their potatoes are amazing. I got loads out of these. Now, last year I got my potatoes from here. They were Purple Rain, and I got them from Patch Potatoes. They're called. I'll put the link on underneath. So have a look under there. So if you want seed potatoes, they're not super dear, but they're not super cheap neither. But I had great crops, great harvests from these potatoes last year. So just to let you know. Now, last year I grew the jerseys, which are the international kidney potato. And I didn't do great. They were okay. They tasted like jerseys. They were lovely. They were very small, and they took up a big bag for a very small harvest. So I'm not doing them this year. I did a selection of different potatoes that I'd not done before. Didn't like any of those. There were none. So the only ones that I did like were the Purple Rain. So I've got Purple Rain again. So that's these. So I've got these. These are the Purple Rain potatoes. What I'll be doing with these is I'll be putting them out to chit soon. I'm not doing them just yet. And then I got some red potatoes. Now these aren't red skin. I'll put a picture on so you can see. These are actually red in the middle. Now I've not grown these. These are called Lily Rose. So I don't know how many potatoes I think I'm growing, but I didn't realise there were that many. But that's all I'm growing this year. I grow my Maris Piper, so you know the ones that you buy from your supermarket. That's what I'm doing this year, and that's what I've been doing for the last forever, really, with potatoes. Is I grow my potatoes in bags, as you know, and they germinate really well. They grow really well. I get good crops from the store-bought Maris Pipers. Now I get great crops from them, always, never fail. So don't be going spending a fortune on the seed potatoes. Just go and get a bag of your favourite spud. Maris Piper are a great one. So go and get a bag of Maris Piper. I think they're about £1.50 in your supermarket. Then just set them out to chit. Now I'll do another thing on chitting. I don't know whether I've got any in here. Yeah, I have. I save these. These are for what? Avocados. These. So when you go to the supermarket and you buy avocados, they're in these. And I put my potatoes in those. So they'll all go out, probably on my shelf here, and then they'll sprout. You know when you leave them in your cupboard and they grow them pale sprouts? They'll work, but they're not great. What you were looking for is a nice green, dark sprout. That's what you're looking for. And that's called chitting. Don't know what you call it in your area, but if you're in the UK, that's what we call chitting. And it's just basically making sure that they sprout. So if you can see through the bag, there's like little, can you see the little dark patches there? That sprouts will come out of them. But we want a nice, deep, rich green. So if you see anybody that's showing these seed potatoes that have got big white shoots coming out of them, they've had them in a dark place. You don't chit them in a dark place, not for seed potatoes. Not in my experience. Not in my experience, anyway. They need a nice, because if they've got a dark shoot, it's a strong shoot. It's not going to snap. It's not weak. So you need that. So anyway, I'll do that on a different one. That's not today, but I'm just showing you that my potatoes have come. Also, start saving these now. These are containers. This has had mushrooms in it. So start saving these containers, because these containers are great for growing microgreens. So I grow pea shoots in these because we can get them going this month. So we can have a bit of salad crop this month. I'm not sleeping because of them little titches in there. Right, anyway, my plan today, so I've shown you that, is these broad beans have all germinated, so they're going in my greenhouse. But my greenhouse, as you know, I've got mice in the back garden. But to stop them from coming in the house, I feed them. And I feed them out there. Otherwise, they'll come in the house. Because mice can get in your house by a little gap about that big. But rather than putting traps down and all that, I'm very humane. I don't believe that I have the right to take a life of anything. So I'm certainly not killing mice or rats or anything like that. You can get rid of them in other ways. But I don't mind. They're okay. I've had a family of mice in my back garden for as long as I've lived here, and I've lived here over 20 odd years. So I feed every year. I put seed out for them in the back because they like sunflowers. I grow sunflowers, and then I put the sunflowers, I dry them in here, and I've got to be careful because they will come in here. And as soon as I see any sign, then they go outside. So my greenhouse needs scrubbing. It needs a good clean. Yesterday we had a Storm Ewan in that hit us on the coast. So my back garden, as you've seen by the introduction, looks like there's been like a mini hurricane. But there were 90-mile-an-hour winds. But yeah, so I need to tidy my back garden as well. And I'm going to shift this garden furniture. So I'm going to give it to young lad next door. He can have it. I'm going to help him with his garden this year as well. So that's it for today. So that's enough waffling. So let's crack on and actually get some work done. one of these. I'll show you, hang on. And these as well. So these are just, you put candles in them and they just warm up and they just keep a little bit of the chill out your greenhouse, and they do work. I've tested them. So I use these. I am thinking about getting a heater, but I don't know. Can't make my mind up on that. Right, that's it from me. See you on the next one. You take care. Bye for now. Bye.